truth be told, majority of the perfumes in my over 400 plus massive perfume collection are blind buys. But blind buying is risky business. It's very difficult sometimes, even after looking at notes and accords and reviews and everything. Blind buying can go horribly wrong, because perfumes are very personal, very subjective. Even if you read reviews, even if you looked at notes extensively, perfumer, took everything into consideration, still it can go wrong still, right? So that's what I'm going to talk about in this video. If you want to hear about some perfumes that are not safe blind buys, just keep watching. Hi my lovely people, welcome to today's video. I have a very different kind of video for you today. I wanted to talk to you about blind buying gone wrong. I've been very lucky, because I do my due diligence, I do my research, I looked at notes and accords, the perfumer, everything, and I know my notes, I know about perfumes, so very rarely does blind buying go wrong for me. But even for me, it can go wrong. So I thought I would talk about two kinds of blind buying gone wrong today in this video. So I'm going to first talk about several times blind buying went horribly wrong for me, as in I can't even wear that fragrance, I just can't even deal with it, I couldn't even make it work. I'm going to talk about those in the beginning of the video, and then I'm going to talk about fragrances that did work for me and I do like, but I can see how they can be not safe blind buys for most people. I will talk about those two different types of scenarios in this video. So let me start with blind buying gone horribly wrong first, okay? So these are perfumes that absolutely did not work for me. It was just awful. Okay, so first one I have here is this. As you can see, I still have it in the box. Even though I bought this now a couple of months ago, I have not worn it once since I first sprayed it. That's right. I have not been able to wear it at all. This is House of Sillage Whispers of Temptation. This, you guys, there are two fragrances. There's one, Whispers of Seduction, Whispers of Temptation. Now, Whispers of Seduction definitely worked for me. I love that one. It's a very different kind of marshmallow fragrance, not your average. Watch my latest haul video in which I actually hauled that one if you want to see like a full review of that perfume. This is the one that did not go right for me. So this is Whispers of Temptation. I'm telling you, I had to shower, I had to wash myself. It doesn't smell good at all. I'm sorry, I don't mean to be, I don't want to be overly critical of any fragrance, but this, I gotta tell you, this smells like a hospital to me. It is the most medicinal, unbearable oud I've ever smelled. I think that it's like oud smell. What is it called? Like, it's not regular oud, if I'm not mistaken. This is some sort of synthetic oud. I think they call it oud vapor. Yeah, so yeah, it's oud vapor that's in this fragrance. And there's a suede note here, which I am so shocked by because I love a good suede or leather note. Like, I love leather in fragrances. Usually it makes fragrances smell luxurious, high upscale and all that, but not this one. You can do the best note wrong sometimes, and this has rose in it, but I'm not getting this rose as much. I can't even believe there's jasmine in here or something. I don't smell anything else but that super medicinal, unbearable oud-esque thing that smells very synthetic. So nope, 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 not a safe blind buy whatsoever. I do not recommend this fragrance. I don't recommend that you blind buy it. It's really not the consumer's fault if the, you know, actually the fragrance doesn't smell good. You should be able to return it. But they don't do returns, you guys. Anyway, so another one that went wrong. So the ones that are in boxes still are obviously ones that absolutely didn't work for me, and I'm planning to get rid of them. I think I'm gonna have a hard time selling that one, but anyway. So the next one is Mancera Wild Python. Now, I don't want to offend anybody who loves these fragrances. Remember, guys, even the most divine fragrance on earth, to majority of people, it wouldn't work for somebody on this planet, okay? That's true, and similar is true the other way around. Even the worst fragrance to majority of people will smell good to someone on this planet. So I don't want to offend whomever love these fragrances, but I am just trying to save your coins, save your money. Yes, save your money. Wild Python is a super strong. Ooh, I don't need to spray any of these fragrances. Actually, most of them, I'm looking at them right now, actually, they're super strong fragrances. So that might have something to do with the fact that when notes go wrong and the perfume is strong, it goes really wrong to the point you just can't make it work. You can't even layer them. Now this one, I can see some people liking this, possibly. People who really love the note of osmanthus, which I'm indifferent to osmanthus. Sometimes I like it depending on the composition. I love osmanthus. I think like Amouad's Sunshine Woman has osmanthus. Now I love that in there. I love osmanthus in the Good Girl Gone Bad Extreme. So it depends on the composition, but in some compositions, osmanthus can be a note that I don't love so much. So this has a huge, massive dose of osmanthus. There are certain compositions like Good Girl Gone Bad, the original, the osmanthus in it, I don't like it. I think the combination of osmanthus in this fragrance and another note in there makes it smell like a squished bug. You guys know what I'm talking about. So osmanthus can do that if it's not blended well, depending on what it's blended with, okay? So I love Good Girl Gone Bad Extreme because there's a milk note in there that moderates it, but the original, I can't take it. I don't love it. Now see, that is a fragrance a lot of people do like, you know, some people do like, but some people absolutely don't like it, just like me. So that's what I'm getting. The osmanthus in here is giving me a little bit of a squish bug vibe, like a little bit of that, the wild actually. It smells like the wild. I mean, I get that python vibe, honestly, really. You know, like the squished bugs, spiders, pythons, you know, that kind of thing. This has like technically good like notes like tuberose, I think osmanthus, and some, you know, peach and, you know, jasmine. Just typical notes, but there's something in here that's blended. The osmanthus is very strong and blended with other notes. Not my favorite, okay? So this is not a safe blind buy for a lot of people. So be aware when you buy this, unless you're like a huge osmanthus lover, unless you like the original Good Girl Gone Bad, the kind of squished bug vibe. If you love that, then get it. But for everybody else, not a safe blind buy. And the next one is also one that technically, theoretically, I thought I would love. Like, you know, like I thought, you know, it should be something I love. I mean, what's not to like? It's a chocolate fragrance. And I thought it would smell absolutely decadent and delicious, but it wasn't so much the case when it arrived. This is Monsera Choco Violet. This one, the powdery violet and the chocolate, just something very synthetic about the chocolate in here. It's not like the chocolate you get in, you know, like cacao porcelana or like, you know, that type of chocolate note. It's not that at all. This is a weird chocolate note. It may be my chemistry with this fragrance. I'm gonna spray it a little bit on my wrist just so that I smell it really strong out of the atomizer, but to see my skin chemistry. Yeah, you know, it's actually sometimes, it's not even my skin chemistry. Sometimes atomizer, when you smell from the atomizer, things can smell a little different than when you spray. Yeah, it's okay. I get mostly the chocolate when I smell out of the atomizer, but I get a lot of that nutty. There's hazelnut in here, but not in a good way. In this, somehow it might be because of the notes are synthetic. Maybe the natural hazelnut note would not have been this weird, you know. I don't like it, you guys. It's how do I describe this? It's not a decadent chocolate. It's a very kind of powdery chocolate. Obviously, there's violet in here too. Violet tends to be a powdery note. But the powdery, the cacao powder, that's kind of what I smell. Cacao powder kind of vibe. Although it's supposed to be, I think, chocolate shavings, like chocolate. With the hazelnut, the extreme nuttiness in here, it just didn't work. It didn't work the way it sounds amazing on paper. So I don't know, it sounds like it will be really decadent when you look at the notes, but it does not smell like it. I'm willing to bet it's because of the fact that Monsera tends to lean synthetic, and that could be a very good thing. Monsera Wild Candy, for example, it's delicious. The Cocoa Vanille is amazing. You know, like it works sometimes in certain compositions, but sometimes when it's a certain composition with certain notes and the notes are synthetic, it doesn't smell the same kind of delicious that you're expecting. So the last one, I actually should have the box for this. I accidentally threw it. I didn't mean to throw it, but I no longer have the box, but I have not used this at all since like the first 2 times I sprayed it on. I tried to make it work, it just didn't. This is one also that blind buy failure. I haven't gotten to the ones I like, but I don't recommend as blind buys yet. So this is the last one. This is Pure Arabian Velvet by Choco Perry. You guys, this is a unisex fragrance, kind of masculine, okay? This smells like a Middle Eastern, you know, like a man would wear this kind of fragrance. It's supposed to be inspired by the alluring scents of the Arabian desert, but you know, it just didn't work for me because of the tobacco note in here. There's a tonka bean and there's tobacco, like warm notes in here. I'm sure some spicy notes, but like it's a tonka beany warm scent with a tobacco note. That tobacco note is very masculine to me. It's not a white tobacco, it's not a mild tobacco, it's a very tobacco note, okay? So this, yeah, just didn't work for me, but it's very, I will say it's very warm and almost like sensual, but not a fragrance that make me feel sexy or any kind of way, you know? So that is a huge blind buy failure. Don't ever buy that without trying it on first. Okay, now on to fragrances that I actually like. You know, I made them work, but I don't recommend as blind buys at all. So let me move on to them now. I think the first one I'm going to talk about is this one right here, Montel Intense Cafe. This is a big hyped up fragrance in a way on YouTube. A lot of people talk about it. But the problem with the houses Montel and Monsera is that they have synthetic notes and it can go very right or very wrong. Okay, so you got to keep that in mind. I'm gonna actually spray this one because their fragrances are hard to smell out of the atomizer. Yeah, this is to me, I love this kind of scent. I like this, you know, Oriental, Middle Eastern kind of rose scents. Like this is a rose scent with coffee, and I'm willing to bet there's oud in here too. This is like a oudy rose with coffee, which is right up my alley. But I could almost guarantee that this is not a safe blind buy for most people because this can be very synthetic smelling and headache inducing for a lot of people. And even when you wear this fragrance, you have to be careful and only wear it in cold weather and not overspray, because you can really give yourself a headache. Kind of can be a turn off for other people. This kind of smell very synthetic, oud rose that is artificial or synthetic with coffee in it. So yeah, I wouldn't say that's a safe blind buy for most people. Another one that reminds me of the same kind of scent here, this is Kayali Sweet Diamond Pink Pepper 25. This one, you guys, I made it work for myself. I don't really reach for this though, I will say honestly, very much for this fragrance anymore after my husband told me that he absolutely does not like this fragrance. He says that to him it smells like an old lady at church, you know, who wears like overwhelmingly strong fragrances. So that's unfortunate, because this is actually the whole talking point behind it, or the whole selling point or marketing campaign of this is all about how this is like supposed to be alluring for your partner, and like it's supposed to have pink pepper that like kind of invokes feelings of falling in love, yada yada. It's like a date night fragrance. Absolutely not. I would never wear this on date night with my husband. This is a very strong rose oud kind of smelling fragrance with a bit of a very sultry note underneath, almost kind of like an herbally undertone to it. This has a load of amber too, which usually is a really good thing. I can't quite put my finger on it. There's patchouli in here too, by the way. You can smell the patchouli. There's something, this is like a rose oud smelling fragrance, although I think Kayali said that there isn't any oud in here, but it smells like there is oud in here. And there's something like herbally, like I said, in here that's just, it just like the overall scent is very strong. It's a strong cold weather kind of fragrance, not a safe blind buy. And you guys, this right here is not a safe blind buy. I actually have two here from the same collection. This is by Carolina Herrera. This is her collection. There's a Privé collection that she has. I forget what it's called, but it's from that collection. This is Santal Ruby, and this is Gold Incense. Is it incense? Yeah. So first let me talk about Santal Ruby. This is a very sandalwood dominant fragrance, and now there's your clue right there. Now, I love sandalwood. I think sandalwood, a lot of people find sandalwood to be like masculine, which I don't agree, because there's a lot of sandalwood in a lot of feminine fragrances. So I don't find this to be masculine because of sandalwood at all. But I will say this is kind of like, you know, along the same lines as this very strong, specific type of fragrance. Sandalwood is very strong, so if you don't like sandalwood, you would absolutely hate this. This is supposed to have some spicy notes, like this is a very spicy fragrance. There's like, I think, black pepper or something in here. Anyway, there's like tuberose or something in here too, but anyway, I don't smell any tuberose. In fact, I feel like I smell some rose in here, but what I smell the most is a very strong sandalwood note with some spices. So it's not a safe blind buy for most people. I like it because I love sandalwood, but yeah, not a safe blind buy. And this one from the same Carolina Herrera collection, this is Gold Incense. This is also the same thing. This is very, very like strong. This is a super spicy fragrance, you guys, and it has like chocolate or cacao or something in here too. It has licorice, which is another strong note that can be very polarizing. People would either love or hate it. This has myrrh, which is a very smoky balsamic note. It's a very, very, very heavily balsamic note. Fragrance. It's very spicy. Not everybody's cup of tea, not a safe blind buy. Now I have a super powdery fragrance. This is by Royal Crown. I love their bottles. Most of the Royal Crown fragrances I have, I absolutely love. I actually like this one too. I wouldn't say it's a love, it's a like. I like it because it's very unique. It makes me feel like I'm a lady in King Louis XIV's court. Okay, so that's how they must have smelled. That's what this fragrance remind me. It's a very it's very powdery fragrance. I almost feel like I smell aldehydes in here, but it's super powdery in the way that Chanel No. 5 is, you know, kind of gives me those vibes too. But this is even stronger in the powderiness and very like vintage vibes, you know. Very upscale though. This has loads of iris, heliotrope, there's rose, there's some spice notes, jasmine, sandalwood, you know, list goes on and on. But the biggest thing about it is that it's very powdery. And if you're not a huge fan of a hugely powder bomb fragrance that smells a little bit like Chanel No. 5 too, and a bit vintagey, like vintage vibes, not a safe blind buy. I like it for certain occasions because it's very unique, but that doesn't mean most people would want to spend their money on it. Another one that I absolutely love and my husband loves very much, to my surprise, I actually never figured that my husband would like this type of fragrance on me, but he does. But it's not, however, a safe blind buy for some people, a lot of people I would say. This is Tom Ford Black Orchid. It's a classic at this point. This is very earthy, gourmand, you know, in a lot of ways. Very unique fragrance. This has like black truffle, for example, which gives it that delicious, almost edible earthiness, you know, to this fragrance. It has loads of fruity notes. I mean, starting from black currant to like, gosh, there's like fruity notes in here. There's loads of floral notes, ylang ylang, sand, you know, jasmine, vanilla orchid. There's citrus notes like mandarin orange, lemon, loads of notes in here actually. There's quite a bit of patchouli too. And there's chocolate in here and incense. You get the idea. It's a very thick, dense fragrance that's very earthy and gourmand and very deep. Not safe for a lot of people as a blind buy. It's one of those fragrances that is very polarizing. Either you love it or you don't. Okay, so make sure to get your nose on it first. You know, spray it on at Sephora or whatever have you before you buy it. Here's another one that is actually kind of popular, but at the same time not a safe blind buy. You know, either you love it or you hate it. This is Dolce & Gabbana, the only one. Dolce & Gabbana, the original, however, is more crowd-pleasing, is more of a composition, a palette that most people would like. Whereas this one, theoretically, on paper, this sounds amazing with like a coconut note, jasmine, tuberose, neroli, yada yada, like orange blossom too, I don't know. Bunch of white florals and some like coconut and cashmere and some vanilla. It all sounds great, but it can be kind of not agreeable to some people. I'm actually going to spray this one a little bit right here. Yeah, I like it. I think it smells unique, you know. It's, to me, a nighttime fragrance, funnily enough, although there's coconut in it. And tropical white floral notes. There's something deep about it, kind of like the Alien, Alien by Mugler. You know how like there's a darkness about it? In the same way, you know how Alien is not really a safe blind buy either, which by the way I should mention, not a safe blind buy. This is the same way, although Alien everybody knows is not a safe blind buy. This, in that same token, not really a safe blind buy, you guys. Now here's one I really like because how unique it is. But I'm really weird and different, you know what I mean? Like I try to love and appreciate fragrances for like really unique compositions, but for average consumer who are not people who want a big collection, they just want really diehard like solid loves, you know, in their collection. This is not a safe blind buy at all, by any means. This is a Chanel No. 19. This one is a acquired taste in some ways. This is a super duper green fragrance. It's very green, even the juice is green. It's very, very green. I'm actually going to spray this one. I haven't sprayed this in a long time, so I can't smell it out of the atomizer very well. Oh, yes, this has got, see, even I find it very strong at first when you first spray it. You have to let it kind of sit, you know, and on the skin. Big, super, super green opening. Now, if you want like that Chanel DNA in the to the max, this has it, but not in a Chanel number 5 kind of way. It takes a different turn. It's very almost herbally. It has some powdery notes like iris, so it's powdery and green mostly. Some nice floral notes actually, like lily of the valley and stuff, like ylang ylang too, I think. But the green notes are really there from the start to the end, dry down of the fragrance. Not at all a safe blind buy, but I love and appreciate it because it's so unique. It's so different and so like classy, you know. So I think in general, an overdose of musk, not something that some people like. Again, polarizing, you know, either you love a very musky fragrance or you don't. So I think Narciso Rodriguez house in general is not really safe blind buy for most people, and those who love it just love it to death. Like me, I love it. Even for me, this was kind of an iffy buy, you know, because this one is different. I love the musky, heavily musky fragrances Narciso has, but this one has musk and osmanthus. So see, that's the difference. So my other ones from Narciso, it's either white floral with musk or yellow floral with musk or rose with musk. This one is, you know, yellow floral like other ones like Frangipani that I love. Whereas the floral in here, that's what musk is, osmanthus. So you know how that's like an iffy note for me. So yeah, I can see this not being, this is not, by the way, did I tell you what this is? This is Narciso Rodriguez for her, Narciso for her. This is the EDT, by the way. This is super musky, super osmanthus smelling, very like strong, powerful fragrance. I like it because it's different and unique, and I do love a musky fragrance, but not a safe blind buy for many people. Now here's a very gourmand, spicy fragrance that almost smells like a, I'm gonna actually spray this one, like a hot chai, like a chai that is like a spicy cardamom chai, you know. Only the sexy perfume version, of course. This smells good to me. It has like raspberry and all these juicy berry notes. It has citruses, and it has all these like nice florals, jasmine and orange blossom and yada yada. And this has some really strong gourmand notes like milk, very lactonics, which is where you get that chai vibe, mixed in with, of course, spices like cardamom and other spices. There's spices in here, very warm spices. It's a very warm, like a hot cup of cardamom spiced masala chai on a cold winter day kind of fragrance. It has caramel, vanilla, and all these like amber, or the gourmand notes like tonka bean and all that. Even ginger, I think, in the opening. Is it opening or somewhere? Ginger too, I think. Anyways, so yeah, it has a very warm cup of masala chai kind of vibe. Very, to me, I think it's delicious. Because it's just, I don't have anything that smells like a warm cup of chai. But I could see that it not being a very safe blind buy for some people. They wouldn't absolutely hate that sort of the chai, spicy, hot tea vibe that it has. Cup of kind of milky chai kind of vibe, you know. Some people might not like that. Now, this is Sergio Overture, and this one, you know, I made it work for me. I like it enough. It's definitely to me. This is quite hyped by some channels, you know, on YouTube. Some reviewers love this fragrance, and yes, it is beautiful, but it's a specific taste, right? This one, I'm also surprised by the fact that most people talk about this as a summer fragrance, which I can't imagine wearing this in summer, you guys. This is a very like, very almost like green and balsamic kind of fragrance to me. You know, like sure, this has notes like ylang ylang that say summer, but this also has loads of like warm, like spicy notes. It has like sandalwood, like a load of like central sandalwood. So that fig leaf can be a very kind of iffy note in here. Sometimes fig leaf can be very kind of scratchy green note, not the more agreeable like smooth green notes, you know what I mean? So that's like the one like thing that I had with this fragrance. So one thing that I didn't love about it is that opening, the fig note in the opening, the fig leaf note in the opening. Fig leaf can be a very strong green note. So yeah, and it's very like strong, very almost balsamic, sort of warm, spicy, woody kind of fragrance, which I find it weird that people would wear this in the summertime, maybe at night, but to me, that's a cold weather fragrance. So yeah, not a safe blind buy. And here's another really strong Monsera fragrance that you should think twice before buying. Mancera Roses Vanille. This, again, I like this. I made it work, but there again, the same story I tell you about the Mancera fragrances. The notes are synthetic, and unless they are, either it can go really well or really right or really wrong. Okay, so this Roses Vanille is this fragrance. This smells like rose, like a synthetic rose note with loads of bucket of sugar, like rose in sugar water, to the point it can be very headache inducing. It's a very strong, sugary, sweet, synthetic fragrance. I like it. I made it work. It's not a love for me, but I make it work. You can layer it and make it work, but it can be a very unsafe blind buy. So I don't even have the cover for this. It fell out. That's another thing I hate about Monsera. Not Monsera, Montel fragrances. Monsera actually is, I don't love the design either. But this thing keeps falling out, the little pin. But anyway, I can't find it right now. This is the Intense Cherry by Montel. Again, not a safe blind buy. It's a very synthetic cherry fragrance. The cherry in here isn't like your delicious like black cherry kind of one at all. It again, very like synthetic cherry fragrance. Yeah, I mean, it has some rose and stuff too in here, I think. I don't know how to describe it. It's just not something you should buy without testing first. Okay, you guys, so those are the unsafe blind buys. Some that went horribly wrong for me. At the beginning of the video, I talked about them. And the rest are ones that did work for me personally. I make them work or actually do like them, but are still not safe blind buys for majority of the people. So I hope you enjoyed watching this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't done so already. Don't forget to follow me on Instagram and TikTok. And don't forget to let me know what your thoughts are on these fragrances that I talked about. Do you agree with me, or are these loves for you? Do you think they're safe blind buys? And let me know. Just chime down in the comment section. Otherwise, I'll never know your thoughts if you don't talk to me, you guys. I am working on replying to all the comments right now. I've been busy with my daughter's birthday and everything, but I'm back, so I'll be responding. I will see you guys in my next video.